Hey people of VC, it's Andy Cloudy Milder. Another from the inbox. I'm not doing these quick enough and the inbox is getting bigger. In fact, I've got 2 inboxes now. So I'm going to go through another 7 records, tick off the list so they can go up on the shelf, and I can pick out the next 7 and start enjoying those. So first up, from 1985, Predator, Easy Prey. This is a one and done band. So Metal Blade 85, probably one of the, it's an iconic cover and it's a terrible cover, but it's so terrible it's almost good. I mean, check out this chap here. Have you ever seen anybody with such ripped clothes that are so damn clean? I mean, that is, there are many a washing powder advert that would love to have a garment that clean, but it's terrible cover, but I love it. It's one of those iconic covers that even if I thought the album was terrible, and I don't, I quite like it, I would have bought it for the cover alone. Then a 3-piece, Jeff Prentice is the main guy in this band, and he takes every opportunity he can to shred and just do his thing, even if it doesn't quite fit the song. Some of the solos are a bit of a tad long, and the other 2 can't really do enough to help carry the song. It just kind of turns into a solo, and that's it. The production is pretty thin as well. It doesn't sound fantastic, although that does improve from Masters of the Night, which is like the 3rd proper track on here, when it's like they find the right button to press in the studio and they just carry on from there. But it's pretty good. I enjoy it. There are 10 tracks on here, 3 of them are instrumentals. It's a really short album, but like I said, I would have bought it for the cover alone. Not because I think it's a great cover, because it's such a bad cover, if that makes sense. It came with the original lyrics, which is kind of like a 10-inch side as well. It seems strange that it was that rather than something that kind of fit the cover properly. Yeah, it's a wee bit small, but and obviously the classic Metal Blade label. Next up, so I keep buying records from this band, usually because I find them quite cheap, and I keep dissing them really. And I thought, so this is Striper. This is In God We Trust from '88. It's a Canadian edition on Enigma. It's still in the shrink, although the shrink is a bit damaged. And I would normally rip the shrink off, but ultimately I think this is one I'm probably not going to keep for any length of time, and people always get a bit excited when they see stuff in the shrink as well. So I'm going to keep it on just for that reason alone, because of the hype sticker on here. But I thought I'd finally found a Striper album that I could connect with musically. The first track, it's I think it's the title track, yeah, In God We Trust. It's kind of grittier and heavier than anything else I recall on the previous Striper albums that I've heard. But alas, the remainder of the album, it goes back to the same sickly, sweet, no pun intended, melodic music of its predecessors. Not one I'll play a lot, and wanted to say that I'll probably end up moving on at some point, especially since it's such great condition. So there's the Enigma label, and it does come with the a very fresh and a minty $100 bill, I think it is that right? Yeah. So there we are. The lyrics and band shots on there as well, and also has the original plastic Enigma record company sleeves. Something a little bit more modern, a release from last year, completely different from Striper in every possible way. This is Gert with Bongs of Praise. My album title of the year, and one of my favourite covers from last year as well. The artwork is absolutely superb. Now, who are Gert? Gert are... they're kind of doomy and sludgy and growly and horrible, and could call this a concept album only because all the songs are pretty much on the same topic, which Bongs of Praise will probably give you an idea of what they are. We've got songs on here like Rolling Stoned, Weed It and Weep, Dr. Strangeleaf, The Joint of No Return, and my favourite, Marijuana Armchair. That's try saying that when you've had a few beers. It's music for a shitty day. If I've had a shitty day at work, I'll stick on something like this, and it always makes me feel better. It kind of lifts you out of that mood. Really, really good stuff. Here's your labels as well, Label Geeks. Nice luminous green and pink custom labels. Next up, I'm still on this quite a big UK thrash kick at the moment, and I'm picking up anything I can, whether it be on vinyl. Vinyl's difficult with UK thrash because a lot of it came out in the late 80s and is super expensive, and a lot of it is really kind of crappy quality in terms of production, but a lot of it has been remastered and re-released on CDs with a bunch of demos as well. But this isn't a CD, this is a compilation that I found that I was absolutely stoked about. This is UK Thrash Assault. It contains 10 tracks from 5 UK thrash bands. We have War Dance, Hydrovane, Pandemia, Sniper, and Llamedos Rhyl on here. Check out War Dance if you haven't. Absolutely superb. I'm shocked they didn't make it bigger. Officially Pronounced Dead is the track on here, and that is also on their... they only released a a demo, I think it was, and I'm trying to track down a copy of that. Obviously it was like more like a home produced cassette, and when I posted on this album that I was playing on my Facebook page, kind of on a Facebook page, the Grey Man, Graham, he got in touch with me and said that he had MP3 versions of that, and he sent them to me, but I, being a bit anal, had to go a little bit further and make my own cassette version. I found the images of the cassette inner on Discogs, and managed to piece them together, Photoshop together, to make a bootleg version, or probably a bootleg tape, and had to add my own track list at the end because it's quite difficult to read. But this sounds really good, and it's got 6 tracks on there, and I've played this a lot, so thanks Graham for those MP3s, and yeah, what to do on a lazy Sunday afternoon. But check out War Dance, by far my favourite band on here, but Pandemia are also good, as are Hydrovane as well. What's interesting about this, it looks very homemade. It's on the CMFT label, so that, and the label for side 1 is on side 2, and the label for side 2 is on side 1. So it took a little bit of getting used to figure out which song was which to start with, and actually which band I liked, because some of those bands I'd not heard before. But there we go, absolutely fantastic stuff. Still meaning to do that UK thrash metal video, but it won't be for quite some time yet. I've got a lot going on at the moment. Next up, something from the 70s. I don't show things from the 70s, do I? But here we go. This is The Gods, and Nothing Is Sacred from 1979. It's in a really, really good shape. I'm sure I've seen some people show The Gods before. It doesn't look metal on the back, and it isn't metal. It's very 70s sounding as well. It's all over the place. I mean, I'm not in my comfort zone with 70s rock at all, but I'm not going to say this is terrible. Absolutely not. It sounds really, really good. It's really, really well done. It is just not my style of music. So this is again one that I will hope to pass on in the future. I'm curating my collection. I saw somebody recently talking about running out of space and wanting to make sure they have the quality left in their collection. They use the word curate, and I thought that's what I want to do. I want to curate my collection. Sound on this though, let's go back to the music. It's at times it's to me it's straight up rock and roll. It has classic rock, it has psychedelic rock in there. There's a little bit of hard rock as well. There's only 2 songs on here I like, and that is I'll Be Your Love, which actually sounds a little bit like The Cult, and 714. But The Gods, not for me, but it's not one of the bands I'm going to slag off on here, because I think as I say, it sounds amazing, but it's just not the sort of sound I want to listen to. Next up, the latest from Tygers of Pan Tang. This is a Ritual. This came out in 2019. I bought this on the day it came out because I was lucky enough to be given a ticket to see the Tygers of Pan Tang in Edinburgh at La Belle Angel, and it was the day that they released the album. And it wasn't an album launch party by any means, but it was the first time the album was available anywhere on any merch table, so obviously I had to grab a copy. Now, I kind of gave up on the Tygers in the mid-80s, and I'm not sure if I would have gone had I not been given the ticket, so very grateful for that. But this sounds fantastic. Their new lineup is really good. I was really impressed. They were able to belt out the original songs, and the new songs sound fantastic as well. The vocalist, Richard Maley, I think his name is, he's got one of those kind of really mature rock singer voices. I mean, if he turned up on a Michael Schenker record, for instance, a modern Michael Schenker record, he wouldn't sound out of place. He sounds that sort of the sort of vocalist that Schenker would go for. But Ritual it's a great metal album. It's absolutely fantastic. Check out Raise Some Hell and Damn You as well. There's a really catchy song on here called White Lines, first track on side B. It's the sort of song that I don't know, I don't think I liked it the first time I heard it, but I remember that when they sang it live, and it is really catchy. It's almost like if bands still wanted to do radio-friendly songs, and I don't think these bands these days are expecting any sort of radio coverage at all, it would have been the one that they would have released in the 80s that would have been sort of all catchy and radio-friendly, and would have been probably quite a success. So having got it on the release day, I also got the band to sign it. Obviously, the only original member these days is Rob Weir on guitar, and you can see the signatures on the. I got him to do the inner sleeve because the only had a black pen and it wasn't going to work too well on the cover. This is an inner sleeve rather than an inner. The lyrics on the one side and artwork and band photos on there. Also got a promo photo signed as well, which was nice. And there's the custom labels, same on both sides. This is actually on the label's Target, which I think is a Danish label, and they were supported by a band called Pectora. I should have grabbed the CD actually, but you should check out Pectora as well. Absolutely fantastic Danish heavy metal band. And last but not least, one of my I love this album and I love this band, and I'm probably biased because I've seen them so many times now. I saw them when they first just released their first EP, and I've probably seen them more than any other band in recent years, at least 7 or 8 times over the last couple of years. This is their second album in 2 years, called Gododin, and it's Midnight Force on Iron Shield Records in Germany. The guitarist is German, and Ansar Burke. You've got John Gunn on vocals, and he's got this really. He's got a range. His vocal style has got a good range, but he's got a really high kind of falsetto. And when he sings like that, in conjunction with the so Pete Wernick on drums and Brendan Crowe on bass, their backing vocals are really, really strong, and it really carries the song. I mean, I talked about Predator being when the guitar solos go in, the rest of the band can't really, there's nothing in the background. It's all sort of a bit one-dimensional. These guys aren't one-dimensional at all, and they really complement each other really well. And you can tell by the songs as a good collaboration. Each member has, one or two songs on here that they've been responsible for writing lyrics or the music for. I can't speak highly of Midnight Force enough. Some real bangs on here, some epic songs, especially side B, Parthia and The Covenant. Check those out on YouTube. Godovin, the title track, is a real atmospheric, long, heavy song. And it's the sort of song you think isn't going to work live because it has other instruments in there. There's violin and all sorts in there, but they played it at it was the album launch show. The album had been out for quite a long time by then. I bought this on pre-order when only the black vinyl was available on their Bandcamp site, but it's just been released in green. I sent one to War God 60 recently. I got signed for him. But there we go. This is the inner, not the inner, the lyric sleeve as well. Very, very nicely produced as well. Not too shabby at all. And also came with kind of an A3 poster as well. You can tell I'm dwelling on this one quite a bit because I absolutely love it. My only criticism would be I am so familiar with seeing this band live and hearing these songs live is they sometimes I don't think they sound as good on the album, but then again I say that of I'm critical of Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden as well, so what the hell do I know, that's a lot of people's favourite album, but obviously after hearing Live After Death versions first, I struggle a lot with Peace of Mind, but I don't struggle with Godovin. I've played it a shitload since I've had it, and I reckon every one of you should check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching. There won't be another one of these for a few weeks. I've got a couple of other videos I'm going to check out soon, but I will see you in one of those. Thanks for watching.